Hi everyone, it's Reburn and welcome back to my channel, which has always been about nature and gardening, so this won't be weird at all. This vlog is awkwardly taking place halfway between my living room and the balcony with a tarp set down because that's really the only place I can do it. I live in an apartment, I don't have a yard, I don't have a garage that I can work out of. So this is what we got. Today I'm going to be talking about and repotting some of these plants, but before I get into it, I just want to take a moment to talk about the big thing that's happening in the world right now. So if you don't want to hear about that, you can go ahead and skip to the time that's flashing on the screen right now. Go ahead, you can skip to it if you want, I won't be sad. And we're starting it now. So I live in Los Angeles, and a couple days ago, the whole state shut down all non-essential businesses and ordered people to stay at home. YouTube, of course, has always been all online, but now my real part-time job is also been moved to work from home online, thankfully. I am hoping not to get sick, and I'm doing everything I can so that doesn't happen, but if you notice a long delay with no uploads on my channel, it may be because I've gotten sick. So if you want to know if I'm currently working on something or not and what it is that I'm working on, please follow me on Twitter or Instagram at HereAndRoar, and I will keep you all up to date there. I am very anxious and I find it really hard right now to think about anything that's not the big thing, but that is exactly what I'm trying to do in this video. I just didn't feel like I could dive right into it without talking about the elephant in the room a little bit first. I know that everyone is stressed and everyone is suffering, so I want to take this moment to thank you all so much for your support, especially if it's financial support like on Patreon, Bandcamp, or buying my merch. Even just watching the ads on my videos. YouTube and its associated revenue streams like Patreon and Bandcamp are the biggest part of how I make my living, and thank you again for that so much. It is a dream come true. I realize that I might see those streams falter a little bit as other people, everyone else is having financial struggles as well. So please take care of yourself first. And if you are able to keep taking care of me, thank you so much. It means so much to me, and it truly makes a difference in my life. Okay, I have a lot of feelings, but I wanted to keep this part short, so let's get our hands dirty. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already been introduced to these plants. Every once in a while I do a little update on my story, telling people how they're doing, highlighting any new leaves, giving thanks that they have not died yet. If you're not familiar with all our cast of characters, that's okay, I'm going to introduce you right now. This is the Calathea. She is a tropical plant. She is a fussy princess, beautiful, and she knows it. These two succulents are honestly miracles. Up until now, I have never ever been able to keep a succulent alive. I think that bringing a succulent into my house is like a death sentence for that plant, because I had this one in the house at first and it was dropping leaves, it was looking really bad, and then I put it outside on the balcony and it went crazy. And this one too, it came with the apartment, super shriveled up and dead looking, like somebody had just left it there, and we left it without touching it for almost a year, until one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to put some new soil in here, I'm going to cut off the dead parts, and I'm going to see if anything happens. And this happened. They do have to stay outside because I don't think that they can live in here for some reason. This is the snake plant, pretty much impossible to kill. It was growing like crazy for a while and it's kind of stopped, so I think it's too big for this little pot that it's in. I'm going to move it to something bigger. Now this one and this one, nothing is happening with these today. I just wanted to bring them in to make them feel included because I can't let them know that I have favorite children. So this is an orchid, doesn't currently have a flower, but did recently produce a new leaf. So maybe I'll get a flower on there soon. I don't know, you'll have to follow me on Instagram for those updates. And this buddy right here is the dracaena, which is super chill. I'm not going to do anything with it this year because I think that dracaenas like to be root bound, so they like to be really cozy in their pots. And he's just about a year old, so I don't think it's time for him to be repotted yet. It's a very slow grower too, and it's really low maintenance, so it's just here chilling. Also, all of my plants have interchangeable pronouns. They might be a he, they might be a she, they might be an it, they're gender fluid, and they're non-binary. Okay, what do I want to start with? So I'm having like a bit of a shuffle here because I think this one I want to move into this pot, this one's moving into a new pot, something's going to move into this new pot, and then I guess one thing is going to stay the same. Also, I might use my phone to give you a couple close-ups. I think I want to start with this one and move it into this pot. It's a little bit bigger because, you know what? I'm already just surprised that this one is even alive, and so if it goes south, I'm not going to be too sad if it dies. Okay, time to get some gloves. My extremely well thought out strategy for all of this old potting soil will be trying to get it into this bag and then dumping it in the neighbor's trash can. I do have to say that I am absolutely not a plant expert, and if you try this at home, try it at your own risk. I got into plants because maybe a year and a half ago, I was desperately lonely and could not get a pet, so I decided that I needed something to take care of. And at the same time, I decided that I also needed something large and green to fill up this big empty space in my living room. So that was when I got this guy, and it made me really happy to see it and to see it grow and to take care of it. So of course, if one plant will make me happy, then multiples will just make me happier, right? So I bought a couple since then, although what you're seeing here is all of them. Okay, so I'm not like as crazy as some. I say this to make myself feel better. Smells like dirt. It's like a hard disc of dirt. Anyway, what I was going to say is I'm not at all an expert. I learned everything I know from reading articles online. Do not take my advice. Okay, so now I've got this root disc. I'm going to put some new soil into this pot and pack it in. What I've got right here, which I've just pulled out from the plastic bin that I have hidden on my balcony, is potting mix and perlite. Perlite is a thing, I don't really know what it is. It's a thing that you can put in the soil to make it drain faster. So I have heard it's good to mix into the soil of plants that don't like to be wet. I think. I just finished telling you that I'm not an expert, so I'm gonna make a mix of potting soil and perlite for this one. So what I'm going for is a layer of soil at the bottom of the pot. I'll go ahead and plop this baby in on top of it, and then I'll kind of tuck it in with some more new soil. I can't wait to find out that like all of my followers are really snobby plant nursery owners and they just tell me everything that I'm doing wrong. Please educate me kindly. These poor plants did not ask to have me as their mother. Okay, we're getting there. I'm feeling pretty good about this at this point. The real test will be though how it does after this, because I don't know if you knew this, houseplants can get stressed. Repotting them is one of the big things that can stress them out. You know, I completely understand moving is really stressful, but I just think it's strange and cute at the same time that I might stress these little guys out. Speaking of stressed plants, this type of plant, I guess, is notoriously pretty hard to please, which I didn't know when I bought it. I just bought it because I think the leaves are absolutely beautiful. So although she's a bit of a problem child, I love her and I would do anything to make her happy. And I don't think she's happy in this small pot. So what I want to do today is move her into a bigger one, which I have out here on the balcony. This is the one that I'm most worried about, because if this doesn't do well, I'm going to be so mad at myself. I really wanted to have this plant in my room initially, and I did for a while, but I don't know that it was getting enough light in there. And you know what? My happiness comes second to the happiness of the plant. So even though I really wanted it in my room, I did have to move it out to the living room where I think it gets more light and it's been doing a little bit better. So one of the things I'm doing as I'm taking these out is looking at the roots on the bottom and seeing if there's anything that's super tightly packed and intertwined that I might need to trim. Because that, I believe, is, I feel like I need to put a disclaimer on every fact I'm saying in this video. But that, I think, is called being root bound, when the plant's roots get kind of tangled up and because the pot is too small. Now this lovely plant wants to be damp. Oh my god, there's a new leaf in here. Look at this right here, this little spiral coming up, that is a new leaf. Anyway, as I was saying, this plant likes to be damp, but it doesn't like to sit in water. So what I have for this one are rocks to put at the bottom of the pot, so that the water will drain down to the bottom of the soil and then just kind of sit in the rocks where the roots of the plant are not, to help keep it from sitting in water. These are the rocks I have. You know what, they're probably not the right rocks, but they're the rocks that I bought, okay? So I've got a layer of rocks in the bottom, and now I'm gonna do a layer of soil on top before I put the plant in. And just for reference, this is the old pot she was in. So I think this should be about the right size. I don't think you wanna go up more than 1 or 2 inches in diameter, because too much room in the pot too soon could be a problem, because that could create pockets of empty soil where it could just hold moisture, and that might create root rot, which, as the name implies, is when the roots of the plant rot. I'm doing a little bit of perlite in this because I still want the soil to drain well and to not hold a lot of water, but less than with the succulents because this plant does not like to be dry. That should be good. Let's go ahead and place our princess in. Lovely. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top her off. I grew up not knowing that much about plants, and a thing that you should know about me is that if I'm going to do something like buy a big plant for my living room, I do not do it without research. I love to do research. I love to be prepared. I love making lists. I love organizing. That's the kind of person I am. So in doing my research for bringing a houseplant home, I learned that houseplants actually follow seasons, which was crazy to me because I was thinking, but they're inside, how would they know what season it is? But it's true, they do somehow. And winter and fall are their dormant seasons where they don't grow much at all, or they grow really slowly. And then spring and summer are their growing seasons. So that's part of why I decided to do this now. It's late March, it's getting pretty warm outside, it's officially spring. So now I can repot them, and I've actually noticed them starting to grow faster as it gets into spring too, especially this one and the dracaena. All right, so I've got this packed down in here pretty well. I'm just gonna add a tiny little bit of fertilizer and then set it aside so I can put the snake plant in this pot. I'm not sure if any of you have any strong opinions about this or not, but I use fertilizer really sparingly, especially on plants that I know are sensitive, because too much of it can actually burn. I just take a couple of these pellets and I kind of tuck them into the top layer of soil, and I do that when I'm repotting it, or maybe one other time a year besides that. Oh, I forgot to put my glove on, dang. So this one is done for now. Ooh, she's getting heavy. I have this whole crazy chart in my head of how I was gonna switch these plants around and how many new pots was I gonna have to buy, trying, of course, to buy the least amount of new things as possible. Ooh. So I got this snake plant out of its pot, and let me just show you all a close-up. This is kind of what I was expecting from this one. You can see these roots coming up around, especially right here. It was in this pretty small pot for a pretty long time. I probably should have done it earlier, but I was just not prepared for how much this thing would thrive. It grew so fast. And so I hope that it gets happy and starts growing fast again when I put it in the bigger pot. Oh, what I was planning on doing today, I'm kind of scared to do it, but I really want to divide this plant to keep the big part in the white pot that the calathea used to be in, and to put a new part back into this black pot, because these plants are getting too big to be in my room, but I still want something in my room. I really love having this snake plant in there. Besides the way it looks, it helps purify air, and it just makes me happy to see it. So, an interesting thing about snake plants is that my hand is super wet, and I don't know how I'm gonna take this glove off to use my phone. They grow from these plant organs called rhizomes, and because of that, they should be pretty easy to divide. If I understand correctly, you can just cut them right on the rhizome. I'm really nervous, like I'm about to take shears to a plant. How do I even know like where to cut this? Oh God. You are gonna have to stay tuned to see if this thrives again or not, or if I'm about to kill, maybe I'm about to kill the whole thing. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Clean cut, here we go. Oh God. Okay, I did it. Now I have this little piece that I'm gonna put into the small pot, and then the rest of it will go into the big one. I believe you can also propagate a snake plant by cutting off a leaf and letting it sit in water and form roots for a bit, but I'm not patient enough for that. No, I mean, I am. I could be if I needed to be, but I wanted to try dividing it like this and just potting it straight away because I have this other pot that I wanted to fill, and from what I understand, these are pretty impossible to kill, so I hope that will be okay. Watch me kill it now. Watch this kill both parts of my beloved snake plant. So I'm just tucking this down in here, patting it down, putting a couple pellets of fertilizer, and hoping for the best. All right, there we go. Oh God, it's so sad looking. It was so big and full before. Now, I always joke when I do the Instagram stories about the plants that like, I know nobody asked for this. I know that nobody wants to see it, but I have had people respond to those stories saying that they really like them, that I should do a video about the plants, so that's why I'm doing this video now. I am curious to hear too, do you have plants? Does this video make you want to get a plant? How do you feel about it in general? I have no idea what time of day it is. The only thing I've eaten so far are 3 of those mini chocolate covered donuts, so we're just doing really great right now, absolutely thriving. No, but seriously, aside from being sort of anxious lately for probably obvious reasons, I've been doing really well. Moving to LA was a big adjustment and I found it pretty hard to adjust. I just recently hit the 3 years of living in LA mark, and honestly, I just now feel like I've hit my stride here. Like I truly feel at home here. I had visited Southern California many times before moving here, before deciding to move here, so I knew what I was expecting, but it was still hard. It was a big leap for me. I moved out here with no job set up, started the job hunt immediately, and I applied for about 80 jobs before I found one part-time job, which is actually, luckily, the amazing part-time real job that I still have today. When I moved out here, I think my channel had about 40 to 50,000 subscribers, which is a decent amount, but for me, doing covers especially, which are 1, short videos, so you can't place mid-roll ads on them, and 2, often copyrighted content, so you revenue share with the original publisher, meaning that I make less money. I was making $20 to $40 a month from YouTube when I moved out here, which was not even enough to cover my internet bill. So I did have to start looking for a job right away. Now that I'm thinking about it, literally just now thinking about it, I bet this is gonna be super short in this pot. I might have to find something to set it on top of. You can barely even see it. Oh my God. Okay, what do I have that I can put? Alright, you know, I'm gonna rig something up, okay. This was a little planter's pot that one of the succulents was in, so maybe I can just set it on top of that for now. That works better. I think I'm happy with this for now. It'll grow into its new big girl pants. This one I'm just gonna let it stay in the pot for now because I don't have a new thing to move it into, and I'll see how it goes. Like maybe if I move that one into a bigger pot someday, then I'll cut off the snake plant again and I'll put it into this pot. See, I'm just like, it starts this whole domino effect, waterfall of like, I'm running out of plants, I'm running out of pots. But as far as hobbies go, at least it's not hurting anyone. Okay, I think I'm gonna start to clean up now. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with all this dirt. I'm not saying that I'm gonna throw it over the 3rd story balcony. I'm just saying, don't ask me questions about what I'm gonna do with it. I'll see you in my next video. If you want to see how all these plants are doing after this video, you'll have to follow me on social media. So in the meantime, I will see you there. Thanks for watching.